today's session is, shouldn't we do it like, shouldn't we be doing it like, which movie is that? Good morning, Mumbai. Okay, welcome back. Session 6. Today is reflection. What do you know about reflection?
Can see it in the mirror.
Sorry?
Can see it in the mirror.
Right.
Okay.
Expressing what you're feeling and thinking after something has happened.
Is it the expressing?
No. Expressing or coming to, like you have it in your head, like you know it. You might not necessarily express it to the world, but thinking about it yourself, like articulating it. For me, at least, it is articulating what I'm feeling and thinking after something has happened.
Do we also reflect on someone's behavior?
Sorry, say that again.
Do we also reflect on someone's behavior?
Do you?
I'm asking you, do we reflect on someone's behavior? Can it be called as reflection?
Yeah, if it has created a powerful enough experience, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. So what is reflection?
Introspection, looking back.
Okay.
Mm.
What else?
Stepping back and observing something that has happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Processing information.
Sorry?
Processing information within.
Information. Okay. And so why is it that we're talking only in 2 and 3 words?
How do we say it?
Because processing information. What information?
See what actually in the word reflection, is it self-reflection or is it just reflection?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, I just said reflection.
Is it, the Cole theory of experiential learning where you have the 4 stages? What you did is what you gave us, and what is happening is after doing perhaps the Padlet and the thing. When it's like thinking about why we did it, what we did it, as in like what Arishi mentioned, processing what transpired now, or reflecting is one of the steps of the whole process, perhaps.
I want to change the word information to experiences. And like if I can use more words and elaborate, I would say processing experiences that one has sort of gone through, connecting it with what one knows in the past, and sort of making meaning out of it.
It's got a lot more than just, right?
Vishwas, can I add on?
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, reflection is like, I've already gone through an experience. But, that the structure of that experience, like how I am internalizing that experience depends on my reflection about it.
How you internalize. Did you say that?
Yeah. As in, what part of that experience am I actually making my own? As I'm carrying, what am I taking away from that system? That depends on how I reflect upon it. Like different angles of reflection gives me different takeaways, to be very honest.
Sorry, say that again, different.
Perspectives or angles of reflection gives me different takeaways from the same experience.
Okay, so
Is that a real pic or made up?
Sorry?
Is there a real pic or is it made up someone else?
Oh.
First.
Anybody below the line today?
No, not me.
Okay. Anybody feeling positively above the line?
Me.
Okay,
Yes, above the line.
go on. Tell me more.
Hmm. I'm in a mood to do something together. That's why I think I said what I said earlier. Uh, Learn by doing, experiencing. Yeah.
So
And
is it,
also, I think that's perhaps the reason I did not do the home. I consciously did not do the homework. Otherwise, I'm usually, I think. So I find this is our seventh session, right? Sixth, yeah. Yeah, so I find it's getting over too soon and it just started. So I think that is kind of working on my mind. Yeah. So that I'm feeling like that.
so is that below or above?
It's above. So I'm like, चलो जल्दी जल्दी मुझे सीखना है and
Ah,
I'm in that.
okay, got it.
Just 2 more sessions left and I don't know enough. I'm in that. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Arushi?
I actually missed last session, so I had a major FOMO, and Nitya ma'am just mentioned, I'm also feeling like I want to learn as much as I can from these sessions. So I'm excited.
Kalpana?
Yeah, I'm quite open to listening, and I'm trying my best to understand as much as I can. And yeah, I think the gist of it I have actually understood. I'm curiously looking forward for the next 3 sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Uh,
Because I feel slightly defensive.
That must be
I
so.
would
Swami, you're underwater. But it sounds lovely, even though we don't understand. I don't know what you're going to do. Maybe you can type it out. Put it in the chat. Okay. Defensive about what? Okay. And you didn't want to, as I understand, was the issue that you didn't want to put it out there for everyone to see? So why are you feeling bad? What are you feeling bad about? Ah, maybe you hit that enter button too quickly, huh? Oh, okay. So let's just say that I got what you sent, and I've never received it in that format. So I think you discovered a new way of sending in a response to a Padlet. Normally, it's just that add that comment piece. So let's celebrate the fact that you discovered something new. Okay, good. You feeling better? You're welcome. Right. So, too many definitions of reflection, but let's just say that at its simplest, reflection is a process of getting somebody to think about something that happened. And they may have been part of that happening, and they may not have been. They may have seen something, heard something, watched a movie, listened to music, heard a story. And what it does is invites people to trigger their neural networks to make connections. So I think at its simplest, we invite reflection, or reflection is an important part of our work because the intention is to get people to make connections between what they're sensing, feeling, thinking, doing, with not just their own lives, but also their environment. It's a reflection helps make connection. Okay? Right. So raise your hand if you have ever conducted. Now, those of you who are camera shy, put a thumbs up. And the question is, have you ever conducted a processing session? Okay. So suppose I said to those who are saying no, suppose I said you did it probably less than an hour ago, and you're doing it all the time. Every conversation is a processing session. If you want to understand a little more about this, go ahead and ask if you're doubtful about what I'm saying. But if you agree, then we'll move on. But we need to understand this very clearly, that a lot of people think that processing is done with a group, and that may be true, but it's also done in every conversation that we ever have with anybody else, or even with ourselves.
Vishwas, I have a question here.
Yes, Nisha.
Yeah, is conversation or self, what do you call, dialogue, the only way of processing that experience?
No, I'm doing it with you right now and for you right now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So we process things, experiences that we have ourselves, but we can also process experiences that others have with them or for them. The simplest example is if you got a kid at home, or somebody comes home, and what is the first thing, what is it we do when somebody comes home after a long time, let's say?
How have you been?
What do you think that is?
A greeting.
catching up on, what the
I know
where the other.
Purva, that's what it does.
Yeah.
But how have you been? What is that question? What does it invite that person to do?
Share
Fine.
their experience.
So you're doing it every day.
Yes.
You're potentially doing it with everybody. Only sometimes it does work and sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many of you have processed a group? Raise your hand. Okay, 3, 4, no, 5, 6. Okay, great. Which is why I put that mentee thing there. Okay, so now let's just look at this processing mountain. It seems really big. And a lot of people give up. And people are in this world of activity-based learning or gaming will very often, they'll just say, अरे छोड़ यार, क्या सवाल करना है? बच्चों को खिलवाते हैं, कुछ तो सीख ही जाएंगे. Leave it at that. And I think singularly, this is the tragedy of the field that we are in. And it's interesting because why would you do that? And one of the reasons is that we know that activities and gaming and laughter are powerful by themselves. And then somewhere along the way, we came along and made it competitive. And now we want to have winners and losers. And we've come to that point where people are saying, "Arey yaar, competition nahi hoga, to there's no adrenaline rush." As though you're a doctor injecting them with adrenaline. And it's very sad. Oh, I feel like oh God, I'm talking like Trump today. It's very sad what they did. Okay. It's very, sorry. So, unfortunately, a lot of the most beautiful things or experiences or activities in life that generate an enormous amount of energy have become competitive in nature, including a regular job in a regular place.
Yes.
And that's the tragedy of what we have done with this. So, we know the power of experience. Those of you who are in corporate work or in corporates will know that this feel good at the end of everything is almost like a must. I mean, I've had conversations at senior levels about intentionality, objectives, designing a particular program for specific needs for a specific group. And before I leave, they say, "Acha, they'll feel good now after this." I'm saying, "Yeah, have a party." So somewhere, the power of this experience, or the fact that experiences generate energy, activities get people to engage and involve themselves, and there's this whole community thing going on. They become isolated. And very often we think that our job is to just present activities, and that learning will automatically come from it. And I think the truth is that it doesn't. We are having lots of trouble with connectivity here today, okay? So Yeah. Sure, sure. Give me a second. No, give Che a second. Huh? Yeah. चीनी नहीं है. That's okay. That's okay. Even if it's small, it's okay. I know the size. Okay. Right. Everybody okay? Right. So here's what I'd like you to do. I had put the Menti up earlier. And the question is here, it's also in there. I'm going to give you only 10 minutes. Or shall we do this? Maybe we shouldn't do this. We've already done some, we've lost some time. So we'll do it another day. So let's, how many of you find processing easy? Anybody?
I mean, doing it for ourselves or doing it for or facilitating it for a group or both.
Group.
Okay.
You find it easy?
Yeah,
It really depends on the group, I think.
Yeah, if they are really
Yeah.
eager to learn, it's very, very easy to do that and enjoyable.
Acha. So now
It's
responsible for you messing up or doing a good job.
Mm. No, not really. It also talks about the current level of expertise is at that level. It needs to increase.
Where do you think your expertise is today?
Low on this, because if it's a tough group, then it is tough. One has to think about different ways to.
Okay. So again, you're going back to looking at the group and saying, depending on the group, I'm either good or not so good. Did I get that right?
Sorry, what did you say?
Depending on the group, you are either processing well or not. So you're putting the problem outside you.
I mean, I think there's also a factor where um, you are processing
Who's you?
your experiences with the group, right? Like, but what is their expectation and what
Archie,
are they doing?
who's you?
If you are the facilitator who is
Who are
helping,
you?
who am I?
Huh?
If I am a facilitator in a group
Hmm.
and I am getting people to process their experience or reflect, then it depends on, like, whether what are they taking away from it and what am I taking away from it.
So how does it usually work out?
So I mean, if I do it in my way and I think that, oh, it went well, I don't know whether it went well because I don't know what they took out of it, right?
So then you're going to remain unhappy all your life, huh? Huh?
I mean, if you're confident enough, you can say that you did a good job and
Who's you, sweetie? Who's you?
the facilitator.
Oh, the facilitator. This is generic, not your story. Generic, I know. Theory kitab mein milta hai.
So I think it changes, my experience changes with like the group. I know I'm sort of putting it out on the group, but yes, that is the answer for me.
Yeah, it's not wrong. I am just seeking confirmation that that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. So your joy is dependent on the group. Okay. So if you have a very good group, and you have a wonderful day, and you're very happy, why are you happy?
Because they are happy.
तो वड़ा पाव खिलाओ. It's not making people, a group happy is not an issue at all. It's so easy. It's unbelievably easy.
But how would you know that they have reflected if, say, they don't speak? I mean, if they speak and they're able to express what they have reflected, then that sort of uh, relates to their happiness or what they have taken out of the session. And then that reflects your happiness or my happiness.
Wow, 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 wow. So I shall always send you very happy groups. Do you want to rethink that?
That's how I've been thinking right now, but I mean, I would like to find answers um, for other type of groups or situations.
So let's get rid of some of this. So I like to call this a bitching session. And what it essentially means is let's just get rid of all that junk, okay? Let's just complain like hell. Okay? So I'm going to start it. And you can do this if you agree. You know what that means, right? That you can go through a whole course on facilitation or experiential methodology, and the whole act of processing is not taken seriously. I see more hands going up. Nobody's waiting for this?
Point number 5, Vishwas.
Huh.
Then what happens to the context? Like there is always a context in which we are doing the reflection, right? So
Hopefully.
if the purpose of processing are numerous, it might not be possible, like it might not even be required to take all these numerous perspectives, right?
Yes.
So my doubt is,
How will you choose? How will you decide which is important?
So aren't we making that decision based on the context of?
Yeah. You want me to give you a context?
Sorry?
Shall I give you a context?
Oh, yes. Okay.
You're working with a bunch of teenagers. Okay? And just give me one objective that you're very familiar with and happy with processing.
One objective. Okay. Getting them to respect another person's perspective.
Nice. And you're halfway through it, and there are these two guys who start fighting. And it gets really bad. They're calling names, they're ready to pounce on each other. You have to get in between. It disrupts the whole session. What will you do? Or you're talking about respect, and everybody has their heads down, and it's almost as though their whole body language is telling you that they're not listening to you. What will you do?
Um, and in the first scenario, the most important thing is to make sure that the physical fight is over and nobody gets hurt. So once that is over, like,
You move from your agenda?
sorry,
You move from your agenda?
not really.
Okay.
So
Your
question is
agenda
not
was what?
about the agenda.
Respect.
Okay.
Now you find yourself getting in between these guys who are physically ready to whack each other.
But if that is happening right in front of us, then the first and foremost thing to do is to,
I know.
make.
I
Yeah?
know. I
Okay.
agree. I'm not doubting it. I'm
Okay.
saying, what happened to the respect? What I'm essentially saying is that, or I'll give you even a more, a less grade level. And I say that you find that you're halfway through the session and nobody is looking up at you.
So the message is very evident, right? Nobody is interested, and the session is not engaging enough to hold their interest. So
Okay.
as a facilitator, that is where I need to really tune the session to the audience, right? Like whatever I've planned and come, it's very clear that it's not working. So how do I make it interesting enough so that some heads go up, and
And
then
you've got
use
an hour
those,
left.
huh?
You've got 1 hour left.
You've got 1 hour left. Okay. Even if it's like till then the feedback has not come, that itself is not very realistic. But I think they could lose interest at any point. Yeah.
Are you serious? You're telling me it's not realistic?
No, if I'm doing a full day session and there's only 1 hour left before I feel that okay, nobody's interested.
Yeah. Or it doesn't matter. The point I'm making here is the purposes of processing are numerous and maybe too numerous to keep straight, which means now what am I going to do? Am I going to carry out my agenda that I walked in with? And if respect is the agenda, but look at what's going on in the classroom, where would you take it somewhere else or would you continue with your respect? Because they haven't listened to you for 6 hours. They put their heads down.
No, then I think my whole agenda goes out of the window.
Good.
To be very honest, yeah.
And then the question is, what are you going to pick up?
Yeah, so I need to pick up what is available in the room. I
When
don't
you
have
realize- Did you realize that only after 6 hours? See?
Okay. Okay. I got your point about having the numerous.
Next one.
Yeah, okay.
We've seen this, right? Our group. We think everything merits reflection.
I would like you to elaborate. Not everything merits reflection.
Yeah. You did something and your classroom thoroughly enjoyed it.
Hmm.
And you're just shocked at how much they enjoyed it.
Hmm.
They just come back
Hmm.
from the beach. Right? And they're all over the place. That energy is all there. Do you think that merits reflection?
No, not necessarily.
There you go. But if I come from a school of thought that says that after every activity we have to circle and do puja, then we have a problem. Then we're trying to process some, and then of course they're going to get up and go away, or they're going to say, no, we don't want to sit in a circle right now.
So which was just one question from the facilitator's point of view. What is helping us to distinguish between what needs reflection and what doesn't?
I don't know. I can't teach it. Oh, did I tell you this? I have to say this. We're doing a session on reflection, but I have to say that I've come to this conclusion that reflection cannot be taught. Okay? So I'm just going to walk you through something that if you learn, great. Imagine this. This is the sixth session. I have been processing 15 hours before this. Yes, no?
Yes.
What have you learned? About reflection? Next. I mean, if you ever see anything like this within your lifetime from a person who was part of your group and you process blah, 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 then consider it a blessing.
Yes. True.
So here they are. If you don't understand any of these, just tell me the number and we can talk about it.
What is meant by taking facilitation home?
You facilitate your partner.
Oh.
And then they turn around and say, wo class mein hi rakho.
Hmm. Hmm. This is good to read.
Issues, what is taking facilitation home?
Who asked that?
Nisha.
Nisha, are you married?
Yes.
You get home after this session, or you are already home actually, and you step out of the room and you start facilitating your husband.
Okay. Got it. Got the point.
Okay, now it's on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having all kinds of trouble with connectivity today.
There are two chat
Yeah.
messages, Vishwas, where Somi asked about point 23 and Deepa about 43, but your screen had frozen, so I don't know if you got the messages.
Co-facilitator hijacks. That means you are running something and you've got a co-facilitator and they take it in a direction that you really didn't want to go. And now the conversations become something else altogether. Okay? 43, right? Getting caught in telling. I mean, we will discover some things today. So this whole act of we're constantly telling somebody what to do, telling them what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You know, a lot of parenting is about that. Tie your shoelace. Anything else you need clarity on? Okay. Are we done with it? So obviously the question when you are working with somebody or with a group or anybody else is always, have you ever thought about this? I'm beginning to sense that many of you have not had a problem with asking questions. Would I be right in saying that, or am I creating a problem?
No, I have a big problem asking questions.
Okay, just checking.
Same here. Same here.
Okay. Yeah, just say yeah, even if the noise is great, I don't mind, but I just need to know that you have had this struggle.
I had this trouble way ago, many years before, but now over a period of time, I have overcome that. Now I
Okay.
don't have any problem.
Oh, cool. So can I create one for you?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So I am, who would you like me to be?
Anybody you want to be?
Okay. I am a 70-year-old
Okay.
and I'm attending your class. What do you teach?
Yes.
What do you teach anything, Manjusha?
Pardon, I didn't get.
Do you teach anything?
Yes, I teach chemistry.
Nice. I'm a 70-year-old in your classroom.
Okay.
I've been regularly disrupting your class.
Okay.
And you're not happy with it.
Fine.
Or you can decide whether you're happy with it or not. Now, I just need you to understand this.
That depends on what kind of disruption is being
Oh,
created.
you can decide. You can decide.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I just want to put something on the table here. This is not a test for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
What we are trying to do is to in some ways bring forth the situations that we often land ourselves in that we don't know what to do.
Fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So that is the scenario.
Right.
And you decide to have a chat with me.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. How is it going?
I'm not understanding anything.
Okay. If you can be a little specific about what you have not understood.
I haven't understood anything.
Fine. Do you want to learn anything?
You know what you should do is really use a lot of videos and in the class.
Okay, I'll try
Yes.
that. As much possible, I'll try that because I won't get videos for every single topic which I am teaching you. But
Okay.
for whichever topic I'll get, and I'm not a techno savvy person also, so I'll ask for your help. If it is
I don't
possible,
know. I don't
right?
know. You're younger than me. You should be able to manage everything.
Okay, fine. I'll try. As much possible, I'll try. What
Okay.
next?
Okay. Next class,
Hmm?
same problem.
Okay, fine. Today I have shown you some video also of few topics which
Yeah, but it wasn't interesting.
I know, I understand because chemistry in itself is not interesting if you don't have it.
Why do you teach it? Why do you teach it? If you know that it's not interesting, why do you teach it?
Because I'm interested in that
Ah,
subject. That's why I'm teaching it.
okay.
I'm trying from my side to make
Finding
it
it really
much
hard.
interesting.
I'm finding it really hard.
Oh, I know, I understand. It is hard if you don't have interest in chemistry.
Hmm.
But if you want to learn chemistry, you have to develop that interest in chemistry.
I really don't want to, but my son said, you're doing nothing at home, go attend class.
Oh, that's great. So you can choose some subject of your choice.
Yeah, there's not much choice available. I mean, I like bio, I've taken bio.
Okay.
Chemistry has some similar sounding names.
Oh, that's true. So you can select some topic which you might find that you are a little bit interested in that, and we can explore that topic. We can do like that also.
In chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Pause. Where are you going with this?
I'm having a chat with my student.
What have you discovered?
I have discovered that in every possible way, my student is just trying to push this thing towards me that the student is, you are not interested in anything, you are not interested in chemistry, you are not interested in learning. And I am trying to make it possible that if you want to learn from me, then first thing you have to develop that interest in my subject, right? And then if you
So
want to
wait. Whose agenda is this?
Having a chat.
No, chat, yes, but whose agenda is it to get me interested?
It's my agenda because you are sitting in my class.
Yeah, but your agenda is to get me interested?
Yes, because you are sitting in my class.
Great.
So
You think you can do that?
Yeah, I do it.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Suppose I said that I'm going to remain like this, and right through the term, I've been behaving like that.
Okay, still I'll keep trying.
What are you trying?
I'm trying to make you develop interest in at least few topics of chemistry which I like very much, and you are sitting for my lecture, so it should not go waste.
So you've got a really powerful agenda.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. And do you know what my agenda is?
Yes, you don't want to learn.
Oh?
It shows that you don't want to, you want to keep telling me that you are finding no
When
interest
did you
in
decide
chemistry.
that?
That is what you have been telling me.
What have I been telling you?
That I am not getting anything. I'm
Correct.
not understanding anything.
Correct.
And you should show me videos. After showing videos, you said that you are
And
not.
what meaning have you made from that?
Nothing. I'm just trying again and again to bring that interest in you.
Good. So you are tripping on your agenda. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
That you know this.
Yes.
Good. That's it. And that's when your facilitation, your processing will fail.
Okay.
You'll never be able to get me interested. You know why?
Huh.
Because, and this is something that we all do. We walk into that space with a personal agenda.
But what should a teacher do if
Wait. Manjushri, don't go there yet. I told you I can't teach you.
Okay.
Okay? All I can say is this, that as long as you're driving your own agenda, you're going to fail.
Okay, but then what should be my agenda?
Okay, so what's the alternative?
Alternative?
That
I don't
doesn't
find.
care about your interest or your learning and she continues teaching.
No. I am asking about his interest also. I gave him.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I told you that you can select few topics from my subject and we can explore them.
Yeah, but it's all down your agenda.
But you are sitting for the lectures to study chemistry.
So what is the assumption you've made?
That you want to learn something.
That's it. Did you find out?
Pardon?
I want to learn something. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yes. But when
Did you ask me any questions around that?
Yes, I asked you that why are you not finding interest in it?
Why are you not finding interest in chemistry?
Yes, because you are sitting for chemistry lectures.
Good. Now, this is, you see, that's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, now I'm not going to tell you why I think it's a problem.
Okay. No, I would like you to tell me why it is a problem because...
Oh no, I'm not going to do what you did to me. I'm going to tell you, Manjusha, I'm going to be coming to your class every day. I'm going to be doing this. Hey, Baba, go away, man. Why are you really troubling me? Ma'am, he took my pencil.
Okay, fine.
Everyday problem.
I deal with it.
Oh, you deal with it? Okay. Great. So if you're happy with what you're doing, fine.
No, what else should be done? I'm asking you.
I
What
don't
else should
know.
be
If you're
done?
happy with where you are, then there's no disequilibrium, no?
Yes, say something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm saying this to Manjusha, that if you put yourself in his shoes and try to understand in his life, I mean, if you had to make your subject interesting to him, because he's coming to your class. The fact is,
correct,
day after day, he's coming to your class.
Correct.
So for whatever reason that may be.
Right.
So if you enter his life and say, for example, he drinks.
Nitya, we are not solutioning here.
What if the probing continued a little
It's so
more to
easy for me
find
to
out?
give a solution, no? But we are here in this session to learn about reflection. Good. Let's just continue for now. And Manjusha, whenever it is that you do get it, or you see something different that challenges your current way of thinking, do let me know. And if it doesn't, that's fine too.
So what I was doing is telling, right?
Thank you.
Yes.
In case anybody didn't understand telling, that was a live example.
Zara?
I mean, how often do we find ourselves in that last one? What if they don't answer? I ask them questions. I ask them 15 questions in 15 different ways and nobody answered. A lot of corporate training is like this.
Yeah, frustrating.
We do it here also all the time.
Huh?
We do it here as well all the time.
Yeah, great. So, what shall I do?
Well, it's okay. I mean, we are reflecting.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, great. So here's some pointers. Okay, the questions you ask will get you the answers that you might or might not want. So the question that we ask is really critical. Okay, we are already moving. There's a basic assumption here that facility or processing is a process of asking questions. Processing is not telling. Processing is asking questions. Okay, just as a beginning. Okay, so how are these questions different from one another? You've got a closed kind of question which takes the conversation in the direction you want to go. Do you like chemistry? What's your answer?
Yes or no?
It's either a yes or a no, right?
Right.
Now, so there's only one answer possible there, yes or a no. What does that tell you in any way? And what will you do with that answer? So just remember, there's a place for closed questions. Does anybody remember the kind of questions Manjusha asked?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Were they closed or open?
Closed.
Closed.
Pretty much, right? Because she wanted to take it to a particular place.
They were her oriented.
Okay. Yeah. So what's the alternative?
What subject do you like?
There you go. Even as open a question as what would you like to do? Now here's another thing. There was no confirmation that I was being talked to for a particular reason. The only question was interest in chemistry, which I found very interesting. Very clearly, you stopped me, asked me to stay back because I was disrupting the class and I have been doing it regularly. That was the story. What question could you ask me that is open? Now you know the context.
How are you feeling about the class? Are you enjoying this? I mean, obviously, you know you're not enjoying, but that's to make you open up a little more in terms of what's making you unhappy, and that's why you're disrupting the class.
I thought we were role playing.
Okay. Sorry. Did
When
you
you
ask me?
enjoy something, what is it that you enjoy?
What do I enjoy?
Yeah.
Oh, I love going for walks on the hill.
When was the last time you went for a walk?
Yesterday?
And did you go alone?
No.
Who did you take with you?
I had Jay with me.
Would you like to tell me something about Jay?
Jay is a useless guy. I mean, he dives into technology all the time. He's looking at computer screen. I just felt like I needed to drag him out of his office.
That's nice. Do you go for walks often with Jay?
Yep.
And
Whenever he finds time.
at the end, I don't know how to process any further.
Good line of thought, though. Your questions were open, and it actually had me getting interested. But I was also curious as to where you were taking this.
I was trying to see how I could get, like, I was just thinking about chemistry in nature. Like, I didn't enjoy chemistry as a student. I just loved my teacher. But she was amazing as a person, but I didn't like the subject at all. But I was thinking of how the things out in the open that relate to chemistry, like air and what it's made of and things like that.
Yeah, so it could be continued. Like, what do you like the most about nature?
Oh, nature itself. I mean, about थोड़ी ना होता है.
हाँ, मतलब क्या लगता है आपको अच्छा?
अच्छा लगता है. अरे हवा, खुली हवा में, पहाड़ पे, नदी नाले, पेड़, हरा भरा.
तो हवा तो इधर भी है ना, उधर की और इधर की हवा में
कितनी गंदी हवा है इधर.
So here can be now put in some chemistry.
Not yet. Not yet. You see, you still got your agenda. And I can smell it. इधर तो भी chemistry लाएगी ये.
नेचर में ही रहिए, वहाँ की हवा में कोई स्मेल नहीं है, ताजी स्मेल.
हाँ. Okay, let's hold on to that. So here's a couple of thoughts. The questions you asked were nice. They were open. They invited me into a space. So in some ways, you created a room for conversation. Okay, open-ended questions do that. And you could gently take it into academics if you want by asking related questions. So if I'm attending school and I'm on the hill, a kind of an indicative question could be: Do you see what you're learning in the classroom anywhere on the hill? It's still an open question, but it's beginning to do that. I'm bringing it to a place. You get it? Okay. This is just, like I said, I'm convinced I can't teach processing, teach you how to conduct reflection, because the questions that come from each one of us are a result of our history, our conditioning, our consciousness, and our conduct. The 3 C's. Remember the 3 C's? Am I even listening to and watching the person I am asking questions to? A lot of ideas were beginning to come up in the Hill conversation, and it was interesting that you didn't shoot them down. And that's where so that's like the crux of conducting a reflection session, that you can be in this open room and you're playing ball, right? Open playground. But somewhere we've got to bring it to that place that we want to talk about. And let's just call it, in rock climbing, it's called the crux, the hardest piece. What's the crux of it? How do I move from the generic to the specific? Is it cut and slice, or is it wade in to that space? So let's just say that I'm going to change the scenario. Okay? Anybody want to give me a scenario from your world, from your life, so that we can role play this as we learn this? And we'll add a little masala to it, don't worry about it. It's a question.
So the scenario is that I was on a trek, and there was an Italian lady who was in the trek, and she was creating a chaos for each and everything that is there. Probably because she was sponsored by some US agency, and there were few villagers who has treated her like a goddess in their villages. So she wanted a similar kind of treatment for from the rest of Indians as well.
Okay, I am that goddess. Right? Now,
Okay.
your program, the success and failure of it is dependent on whether you choose to talk to me or not.
Mhm.
So you have to talk to me.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So hi, how's the weather today? Like
Oh, it's brilliant. The
how it
sun's
has.
been out all day. I love the chill in the air.
So how is it
You know,
going?
you
Like
should.
it's
Sorry?
So how is it going? Like it's almost around 3-4 days, and yesterday I think was a strenuous day. So did you relax after the?
Manjusha, your mic is on.
Pardon?
Your mic. Thank you. Okay. Yes, okay.
So did you get a good sleep after the yesterday's strenuous day? And
No, not at
how are
all.
you
I mean, that
feeling now?
mattress was too thin. It was too cold, and I don't know why you're treating me like this. Yeah, you know, I expected much better facilities.
Oh, like I was not informed. Like you should have approached us,
Yeah,
and like
well, you know,
we had extra mattresses.
how many people am I supposed to tell?
Only one you could have told me.
You know what I really like? I like the vada pav.
Oh, is it? Is it like? In fact, it was. It's absolutely like even I was also fond of it, and I had a couple of them.
Okay, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, but I'm going to enjoy this vada pav for now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Like off this, should I say something?
You can decide. Are you going
Yeah.
anywhere with this?
No, I'm just like I'm getting into a space where she's just trying to avoid discussing.
Have you asked anything of importance?
Okay.
Did you ask what you wanted to ask?
No.
Why not?
Probably my throwing of questions was not in the right direction, and probably it was not going in the right way, and she could feel it much before I could have asked, and she just backed off.
But I didn't back off. I continued to complain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doing exactly what your concern was,
Mm-hmm.
and that you wanted to talk to me about. Yeah? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's trying to bring some order to that chaos.
Mm-hmm.
We create experiences for people, right? And we put in a lot of thought. We think it through. We get the props. We do all that. We want things to go in a particular way. But just remember that once you've created opportunity for people, they will always take it where they want to, not necessarily where you want to go. Is this clear?
Yes, Vishwas.
So anything could happen. So here's a way of discovering. Remember, the reflection process is a process of asking questions, right? So initially, you can ask, review, remember, and identify impact. And what they do, they're all what questions. So you started well with a what question. What's it been like for you? How was your experience? Blah, blah, blah. What do you remember of the trail? What memories are you going to take back? If you don't understand some of this, please let me know. I'm eating, but I'll keep talking. We're going to dive deeper into these three stages when I tell you a story. But then you can ask summation questions. What would be a summation question in the context of Akhil's scenario? Man, I have a quiet classroom today. Are we all there?
So, Goddess, how can we make this work?
It's working.
Oh, it's working. I thought it wasn't. Wasn't that the problem, that it wasn't working?
Yeah, I'm unhappy, but I mean, we're on the trek, we're walking, and yeah, I mean, what do you want to work?
Okay, great. So you're okay with the unhappiness?
No, I'm not.
Which is what I'm asking you. That.
Oh no, you did. Well, then ask me. Now you ask me.
Yeah, I would like you to be more happy than what you are. So, and I'm concerned about your unhappiness.
Ah, why didn't you ask me earlier? 4 days of unhappiness.
I'm asking you now.
What's your question?
That how do we make it better for you?
What are you unhappy about?
Is that a summation question?
Isn't it? Oh, I don't know.
Or is it a what question? What are you unhappy about? Summation and application questions are the next so what question. Remember Kolb's cycle? A summation question might be what? Anybody want to try?
Sorry, Vishwas, I got a little confused. Nitya asked you a how question, and I don't know, at the same time, I asked you a what question. So I don't know which one you called a summation question.
None of them were summation. What was your question?
I asked, what are you unhappy about?
That's a what question?
You didn't answer it.
You want an answer?
Yes, please.
Oh, the mattresses have bugs. The sleeping bags are dirty. The vessels, the kitchen's a dirty place. I shouldn't be going there at all because once I sleep, then I don't feel like eating. And I'm feeling weak now. That's why I'm eating a vada pav. It's not from your kitchen.
So we are on a nature trail trek.
Give me a summation question.
Okay. So what can we do about this? Oh no. So what will help you feel better about the situation?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a so what question. Any other so what questions? Why are you guys so afraid to ask those hard questions, man?
What are your thoughts about this trek?
Terrible.
Terrible? Okay.
This is the situation you're in. So what will you do about it?
Are you telling me that I have to put up with this dirty kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, and you're doing a good job of it, I must say.
Oh, that's very kind of you, but no thanks. I offer you perfect place for you to ask your summation question.
So what if the kitchen is dirty?
So what can you do to make this a better trek?
Oh, go in and clean the vessels myself.
Thank you. That'll be great.
That was a so what question. Now, continue that line of thought. What would be a now what question?
What do you want to do about it?
Who's that? Shoot that person. Who's that? Nisha.
Yeah, sorry. I already shot it and I killed that question.
Thank you. I don't need to waste a bullet. Come on.
Now, what's the best thing to do in this situation, as per you?
Clean the kitchen. I'm laying it out on a platter for you. Come on.
Okay, fair enough. So should we plan something with the whole group so that we can get it done?
Oh, that would be brilliant. For a second, I thought you were going to ask me to do it.
I was
No,
going
but
to ask
I would like you to plan and get this whole thing organized so that we can do it together.
They're not going to listen to me.
Why don't you try?
I know they're not going to listen to me. I've been complaining all along. They just think I'm a what? No, some aunt. What is the agony aunt?
So what?
I will eat you up if you take that line. I will destroy your processing. You want to get to what?
What can I do to help?
No. You come to that perfect place where you've asked me all the questions, I've given you all the answers, and it's a wonderful place to begin to transfer the responsibility to me.
I did, but you said you're an agony aunt.
Because you didn't do it well enough.
So are you okay cleaning the dish, the stuff by yourself?
I thought we threw that. I thought we agreed.
Okay.
Why are you coming back to that question again and again? Why do you keep asking me whether I'm okay? Of course I'm okay. I want a clean kitchen.
So here is the scrubber.
Close it. Nice, Nisha. Continue. Now be nice.
It's the cleaning liquid. If you want help from someone else, please go get help yourself.
Oh, that may be a bit too much.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So we stop at do it yourself.
Say that again.
Do we stop at why don't you do it yourself?
No. Where's the respect in that?
Okay.
Okay, so you said, I'm just going to walk you back because you guys are almost there. Here's the scrubber. Here's the soap. Now, what can you do to support that person?
You plan out and let me help you execute the whole plan.
No, wait, hold on. Something interesting. Let's fix the date and time when you would complete.
Okay.
I'm not going to complete anything because then I'm going to ask you to pay me. I am a participant. I'm still a participant on your course. I've paid good money. Don't forget that. Come on. Okay. Last chance. Anybody?
Yes, but we are on a trek.
Get sad. Hello, Nitya. Don't reverse. Here's what was said last. Here's the brush. Here's the soap.
Show us.
Now,
Show us how to do it.
sorry?
Show us how to do it.
Yes, show us what's done.
Not yet, not yet. Remember that she's still a participant. You still have to take care of her. How are you going to create a sense of community in this process?
You tell us how to do it, and we are going to do it. We are going to help you clean it up.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
Reframe it.
Yeah,
Reframe it.
so,
Transfer.
What more you need? What do you need more?
Good. Shared responsibility. What else will you say?
Is there anybody else who thinks like you, who you want to help you in this process?
Nice. Would you like somebody to help you through this? Yeah, sure. I want 4 kids.
fine. Let's get those 4 kids. Let's all go in, and you tell us how to do it, and we'll do it all together.
Cool. And from tomorrow, that would be the expectation from the kitchen. Once I show you.
That will be the expectation from all of us.
Okay, good. Are you getting? So this is what we just did. We did a role play. I wanted to do a different role play, but that's fine. Managed it. What have you noticed in the 15 hours before, in the past 1.5 hours, about processing?
Step by step.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Sorry?
Not about you.
Good. No, the you be meaning the facilitator.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
That it's not difficult as long as I'm thinking about the other person.
Good.
Questions come naturally.
May might. No, they don't come naturally. You
No.
discovered that, didn't you?
Yeah, in this scenario with you.
Okay.
And one more thing I want to ask. This is a question. So what I also understood was that it has to work for both of us.
Yeah.
Whatever we are coming up with has, the whole thing about respect, it has to work for both of us, the facilitator and the facilitated.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. Let's take a break. I'm just going to play music. You got 10 minutes. I do not have an activity or an exercise for you to do unless you want one. But we've already covered that ground. So next, I'm going to tell you a story of an experience of a classroom session that I ran, 7th grade geography. I'm going to use that and show you how the what, so what, and now what questions, how they are framed. Will that help? Or do you want a corporate story? No? Adult or children?
Corporate.
एक ही बोला भैया
Adult.
बच्चों का ही होने वाला है. But you can use the same thing in corporate, just remember that. See how many people are saying children, children, children. Okay, children it is. 7th grade geography, 10 minutes from now, go take a break. Bring a cup of coffee and stay focused. This is, according to me, important. But you can decide what it is for you. See you soon. I'll play some nice music for you. We're back. Videos on, please, everybody. It's okay if you're eating, it's okay if you're drinking, whatever you're drinking. No problem. Just pay attention for the next half an hour now because it's going to be fast and furious. Okay. So here's the story. A lot of educators told me that, hey, you know what? It's easy for you to come and do this and tell us what the right question is and so on. But when we're actually in a classroom, it's not so easy. So I went back to teach 7th grade geography and 5th grade EVS. And I had set up certain conditions of the school and so on and so forth. And this is how, so it was 7th grade geography, and it was about the physical features of the planet. All right, so here we go. This is the Kolb cycle, and we're going to, and the questions are around using the Kolb cycle in, taking it through that entire cycle to till the end of the year. So, the get to and how to are critical. Even both conversations, chemistry as well as the Italian lady, I don't think the get to and how to got established. And you can do this very effectively regardless. Now, just remember, while this is about 7th grade geography, the questions and the approach is not different with adults. Nobody asked me the question, why are you in this classroom? Or why are you on this trek? Would that have been a wrong question to ask? What's the story here?
I think I had asked you.
To learn chemistry.
Yes.
And then?
So, because I had asked you that why have you come to the class?
Good. Now
Okay.
see how it goes. Now see how those questions are asked, because that becomes really critical.
Okay.
Now the get to is the objective. Is it finishing the trek? Is it learning chemistry? What exactly is the get to? Now, technically, if you decide the how to, they get to decide the get to. If you decide the get to, which is what the scenario is in most situations, then create choices and opportunities for them to decide how they're going to go about it. A different question, Manjusha, could have been, how would you like to learn chemistry? And I might have said videos, I might have added, but
Yes.
what I did at the moment was ask me a very different question, which is make me party to the learning process. That makes
Okay.
sense?
Yes.
Okay. So is this concept clear? So get to, when I ask those kids the question, I throw some details that you might want to know. I asked for a double period, so it's not 40 minutes, it's 80 minutes. And I was with them 3 days a week. And I did not use a textbook. I defined the get to, because that was a given. Get to was physical features of the planet. Now you can decide how you want to learn it. So the get to questions around that would be, what do you know about the earth? There's a context to everything, right? And these questions could have been asked to the lady and to that gentleman. What would you like to know about the earth? You're not asking, do you want to learn about the earth? That's usually where we tend to go. No, that's not in question. The question is, what would you like to know about the earth? So the earth is the context. All your questions of the get to are around learning about the earth. Where will you find the answers? How will you put it together? If you had to teach it to your juniors, what tools would you create? And we had all these answers, and they decided how they would go about doing it. And the how to questions would be, how will we work? How will we manage and share information? Can we divide? Okay, you read all that stuff. Okay? Is this making sense? I'm assuming now comes the, so now you set the stage. And now everything happens within those boundaries on that stage. Now here are your what questions. So here's some direction that might help you. One approach to reflective questions is a sequence, like we did that funnel. Yeah, there's another way of looking at it. One, you ask the what questions first. This is not in the presentation, so if you want to make notes, go ahead and make them. What questions first? So facts. Second, feelings. Third, findings. What did you find? What have you found? And fourth, future. How is it relevant to later? So facts, feelings, findings, future. Okay, great. So here are examples of what questions in the context of geography. Read them. If you need clarification, ask. You notice there are a lot of community building questions here as well. Which of them is a community building question?
What are we interested in about geography?
No, that's a geography question.
What will help us learn?
Correct.
Or what will prevent us from learning?
So now you're getting them to think about what process they're going to use and set for themselves up. And then once they've got that, then you say, okay, what will prevent us from learning that? So the lady could have been asked, so I'm curious to know, why have you come on this trek? Now, there are times when we have to ask these questions in a way that sounds confrontational, but it is critical to recognize. In both scenarios, you shied away from coming to the reason as to why you were talking to that person. At no point in time was the lady or the gentleman given any indication about why they were being talked to. If you had to open that conversation, what could you ask? It's a question. So go ahead and ask me the question.
Vishwas, can you repeat that? I missed the first part of your question.
I said that in both scenarios, you did not really address what the issue was.
Okay.
What was the issue in both scenarios?
Lack of interest.
Was it that?
No, it wasn't.
The disruption caused to the community or the group at large.
Correct. Now ask me, now if you're opening a conversation about that, what would you say? Why is it so hard?
So which context? Is it chemistry or is it the lady?
You can
Anything?
decide.
Okay. So for chemistry,
We are role playing now.
yeah. Okay. What will help you learn?
Oh, sorry?
What will help you learn?
Yeah, I want to learn, but I mean, what's the problem here? Why are you talking to me?
What interests you in chemistry?
Sorry?
What interests you in chemistry? Which part of chemistry interests
Still
you?
in chemistry, madam. Are you addressing a chemistry question or a behavioral question?
Do
Okay,
you
what
think
is?
you're disrupting the class?
Sorry?
Do you think you're disrupting the class?
Sometimes.
Well, if you are aware then about it, then why do you do it?
Oh, because it's fun. Oh, you almost got the right question. Come on, Arishi. Come on, come on, come on. Why do you do it? Oh, why questions are dangerous questions. They're confrontational, but they are dangerous. A why question can be asked by reframing. It's all word games now, okay? Just remember that.
Now that you're aware that you are disrupting the class, wouldn't you feel that you are causing your fellow students, disturbance?
No, we're having fun together.
That doesn't seem like that. It just seems that you're
There you
having
go.
fun.
There you go. You've already lost it because you've got you're holding on to your agenda. You're not exploring at all. Okay, here's the principle. This is something I teach while dealing with conflict, and I don't know if we are going to have time to get there in these 8 sessions, but here is the basic principle. When we approach anything, we approach it from what we call slips of paper. You've already got an idea about what it is you want to solve. Yes or no? Good.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, just tear one into half. Okay. You got a pen or a marker or something? I'm going to try and make this visual so you remember it. Give me a second, right? So, what you are doing is approaching the entire conversation from what you believe is a perfect world. What is the perfect world saying?
A peaceful classroom environment conducive for the students to learn.
Good. What other ideas of perfection do you have?
Ask questions.
Huh?
Everybody will be interested and will understand me and etc.
Does not question me.
Should be interested. That ugly word, should.
Yes.
Everybody should be interested. Why are you not interested? Go on. What else is your sense of perfection, of how things should be?
That everyone in the class is there to learn.
Good. You got it? Now, everything you've said so far comes from there. As long as you come from this place when you are in that reflective space, what you're just carrying your agenda and you want to stuff it down somebody else's throat. And it's not going to happen. And it's Oi. Oh, okay. And it's going to create, the words you use, frustration, anger, sadness, guilt, pain, hurt, everything comes from here. If you feel any of those words in your life, it's because you're coming from this place. Now you'll ask me, what? Does that mean that I don't do, that I accept it? No. What's the alternative?
Exploration.
Do you know my reasons for being in that classroom? Do you know my reasons for being on the hill? Did you make assumptions about me being treated like a goddess?
Yeah, you mentioned that, you were in the class because your son wanted you to be, but not because you wanted to be.
Good. And I was feeding you a lot of opportunity to ask me exploratory questions. Don't you want to know why this guy is in the classroom? He's 70 years old. My answer is this. Very often we don't want to know. We just want this.
Or probably we just want the class to go as intended, or as a facilitator planned to it.
That's what it is.
Right.
That's what it is.
And also, Vishwas, if at all I do go into that exploratory mode and everything, I'm again kind of eating away the time that is meant for the class, into that, isn't it? Why would the rest of the class want to understand the 70-year-old person's problem?
You decided that already. Now you're stuck.
No, it's a community, right? We are trying to build a community, so they're all in it
Great.
together.
Great.
They're all in it together.
And how are
So
you going to build it?
why would one person, who's constantly causing trouble and who's constantly doing this, why would the other person come in, even want to take the time eaten away from their class time?
Did you find out?
No.
Then you don't know. You're working from here.
Right.
First of all, you've made up your mind that this guy is disrupting the class.
Which is a fact.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on.
Can I just say something?
Uh,
So I'm thinking about how I felt in the beginning of this class when you said do your homework for those who didn't do it, and I had done it. So I felt it was eating away into the time. But I also felt a little that, okay, I need to put my judgment aside and, okay, be a little more empathetic and like, okay, if it was a physical class where where I knew everyone and I was more talking about with people, I guess I would have been a little more empathetic than I'm virtually because I'm not connected to people really. So I'm thinking in a classroom setup.
better reason for you to raise this for conversation and say, why the hell did you guys not do your homework? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying that in a classroom with a 70-year-old, it'll create empathy because even I was creating judgment here, but it helped me get in terms with how I was also feeling. So
Got it. And if we don't bring that out, then we hold on to it.
yeah,
And you could carry this to the next session.
guys, please do your homework.
There
I'm
you
not saying
go.
I do it every time, but please.
There you go. See? Or again, you're still there, and then they're not going to do it. How will you get to this place?
Yeah.
What question will you ask? This is reflection. This is teaching. Okay, you don't have to answer that question. But notice that there is a question and we want to get them to be able to answer that question, and there's a process involved in it. So what are we interested in about geography? They give you an answer. How will we find out about that? Is the process question that looks at, okay, the method that they're going to follow in order to get to that place. Are you getting this kind of? Good.
I had a question, Vishwas. So
Is it this or this?
the earlier one, sorry.
Is it this or this? Oh.
No. When you were talking about facts, feelings, findings, and future.
Yeah.
So about the feelings,
Yeah.
how does that come in?
Oh, we will come to that.
Acha, okay.
So I'll just give you a feelings question. I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to ask you this time. Okay, feelings question. I might explore with the guy and say, hey, do you have any idea what your behavior is doing in the classroom? No. Okay. Does it matter to you? Yeah. Okay. Do you think your behavior is disturbing other people? A little, okay. What does it feel like to be doing something that disturbs other people's learning? A feeling question is always, I don't know, I think this is a rule that I use, is always scaffolded. And it's context based. So the Padlet that you did was a feeling question, but it was garbed. And I said, okay, some feelings are generated when you see a visual, the card, the picture, and that's where you write from and you identify with it. And then you write down that, yeah, this, it's like, this is what the course is like for me. And that's what I'm really getting is a lot of information. Okay. The so what question is the integration question. We discovered something through the reflection. Now we're going to take it to integration. What does that mean? So what if we learn about this topic? What's the value of learning geography? How is it going to help? What if we don't get the information we need? And sometimes people get stuck, like we've noticed. And the question is, okay, how will we find alternate resources? What if we don't get the permissions from school? How will we present our case? Are you getting this? Reflection requires a lot of work. Conducting a reflection session for anybody requires a lot of work. My suggestion is have at least 50 different questions, then you can throw them at once. You learn how to frame questions which are in this domain, something quite different will happen.
Vishwas, I have a question. So we do get into this, exploratory question and everything, and then probably the answer that you get from the participant throws you off. You don't know what to make of that. I mean, you don't know what to make of that. So how do you conduct that whole activity, and how would you take it forward?
Easy. Give me the scenario.
Take, for example, the same 70-year-old person, and then you try and ask them where we stopped last. And you kind of, say that, okay, explore why he's behaving that way. And probably...
Okay. Role play?
No, I'm not good at that.
No, you're going to play the easy one. You're going to play the old man, right?
Okay.
Okay. See?
Thanks.
The old lady, whatever.
That's okay.
I noticed that there's a lot of movement and noise coming from your area of the classroom. Are you aware of that?
Not really. Thank you so much for bringing it up.
You're right. Is that what you want to do?
Is what I want to do?
Making noise in the classroom?
Definitely not.
Great. So how do we, since you are not aware of it, is there a way that we can get you to become a little more aware of it?
Now that you brought to my attention, probably I would be more conscious about that.
Great. And what if you forget? Can I do anything to help you?
Yes, you can definitely poke me.
What would you like me to do?
Just call it out, saying that there is a disturbance coming from your end.
Or that may not be fair in a full classroom. So can we use sign language?
Yeah, sure. Works for me.
If I do this.
But how do I know that it's coming for me? It can be for anybody in the class.
What I'm talking to right now.
Right now you're talking to me, but in the class when we're using a sign language.
Then I'll use a different sign for somebody else. But for you, between you and me, this is
right. Yeah, that should work.
Great. Finished. Over.
I'm being good to you, but you are not good to us. The role play. You were mean. I was not mean.
You asked me good. See, this is the thing about reflection. You had your agenda. I had no agenda. And you want to be tough? Be tough.
No, no.
Anybody wants to play tough?
I would give it open to somebody else who wants to play tough.
Okay. Look, you know what? I was not stuck. I was taking the conversation where you participated.
Can you, probably tell which question was it that you used as an exploration and not the perfection thing?
Now
Which
you know
question
why I say
specifically?
reflection can't be taught. I don't know.
Now it seems like you have an agenda, Vishwas.
I-
You're sticking to that.
I don't know how to teach it. Please tell me how to teach this.
I wouldn't be here if I knew that.
Good. So here's the thing. Ask the class, because I don't know what I'm doing at that point in time. I'm just staying with what you are saying and how you are responding.
Class, help.
One observation, Deepa and Vishwas, I noticed that initially Vishwas was being very, very descriptive. Like he was just describing what was going on rather than attaching a particular label to that person.
Right.
He said, I notice that, there is a lot of noise and movement coming from this part of the class where you are in. And then to give him the benefit of doubt, he asked, is that intentional? So,
Nisha. So here's the alternate question. Instead of saying, how do you feel about that? I asked you, is that what you want to do?
yeah. Is that intentional? Is that what you actually want to do?
See, it's scaffolded. Watch the recording.
Great observation, Nisha. Thank you.
Okay.
That was fun to watch. That's great learning. Thanks, Vishwas.
Which was my now what question?
About the sign language? Now, what do we do?
That's it. What should we do? Because you don't recognize it when that's happening with you. Can I help you? Yeah, sure. Can I do this? Yeah, sure. So now what are we going to do? I'm going to do this and then you fell into that trap. See? And you said, yeah, but how do I know it's for me? I said, because I'm not talking to anybody else.
Okay.
Okay. Here are the 4 parts of asking questions. Short. Now, all I can tell you is, I think that was a wonderful demonstration of these 4 S's, as I call them. The questions were short. They were sharp. There was no ambiguity in any of it. No multiple choice questions. They were simple. They were understandable. The short question makes it immediately understandable. And they were sweet. And that sweet stands for, you will know it when you've got that right question. Four S's. Don't forget that.
If we go into that confrontational kind of a questions, how can that be sweet questions?
Like how?
Like you said, right? Sometimes when we go ask the why questions, it immediately kind
Yeah.
of becomes, confrontational.
Yeah.
So then the other person might not perceive it to be sweet.
Here's how you can reframe that. Instead of using the word why, you say, is there a reason you're choosing to do that?
Okay. Take the why off. Okay.
Think about, Deepa, just think about the number of times you ask your daughter a why question.
Yeah.
The moment you say why not? Or whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those of us who have children will know this.
So when we say why, it directly comes over, so you don't want me to do it.
Right. Now we are on a different trip altogether. But if you say, hey, you know what? What's your daughter's name?
Zara.
Zara, is there a reason you're doing that? Can you imagine how powerful that question is?
There
Zara,
she comes.
give it to her.
1 second.
Hi, Zara. My name is Vishwas. And your mother tells me that there are times when you're extremely naughty. Is that
Say, talk something.
yeah, there you go. Is there a reason why you did that?
He asked something. I think you missed the question.
Zara, shall I repeat the question?
Yes.
Is there a reason why you did that?
Yes.
There you go again. What does that mean? What does that mean?
A yes means a yes.
No.
Oh, was that a yes?
The expression that you did, he's asking about that.
That expression. You know, I've got glasses so you can't see it, and you got much bigger eyes, but you did something like that. Okay, so you get it, right? Cool. So go through the details of that slide and you have questions. So here's another way of looking at it. Whenever you're working with a group, ask group questions. We're running behind time. Only after that, you want to go to the other kind of questions. Interpersonal. Talk about what happened between people. And only when you think you can manage these two will you ever go here. So that conversation with that old dude was pretty much an intrapersonal. Yeah, I'm asking him to explain. We didn't go that far because you fell into my trap of questions. But we could very easily get into that person's history, stories, pain, anger. It could come from there. Don't ever do that, have that conversation in a group. Those of you here who are who are clinical psychologists or into counseling and so on and so forth, be careful that you never ever use this method in a group. And what that graphic indicates is that when you are doing that and having that conversation, the only thing that exists is you and that person. That's it. It's like a tunnel. And for you to conduct something like that, it's usually done only in therapeutic groups. Then you need the group's permission to do something like that. And I know that it happens often enough in the kind of work I do. So here is, okay, we're running behind time, but can I take 5 minutes? If our intention in our reflection is to help people look at what they're doing and find ways for them to do it differently, or just look at what they're doing, because most of us are not aware, there are many places that you can ask questions to bring about that awareness. Okay? Let's make most of us believe that questions are asked only after the experience. And most of us are limited to that. Now, after a period of time, the group will say, nah, enough, we don't want to do circle time today. Or, yeah, okay, I did this, but now please don't ask me 50 questions. And we've got to find creative ways of being able to do that and do it in many different places instead of leaving everything till the end. So here is a way of looking at it. And these are generations of how this whole reflective process grew over time. Years ago, they said, let's take people into the mountains and the experience will speak for itself. They'll come back changed or whatever. Right? So that's a classic example of let the experience speak for itself. And sometimes it will and sometimes it won't, and you will never know. Then they said, hey, you know what? Activities and experiences are powerful by themselves. Maybe if we ask a couple of questions at the end of it, it might help. So they said, okay, after the experience, let's throw a few questions. At that point in time, it was pretty much speaking for the experience. Then they said, but that's not enough. But you remember one thing, every time you create a space for reflection, you create opportunity for change. Okay? And that's the magic of this whole reflective process. And people can do what they want with it or what they discover about themselves. Then they said, but what if people knew why they were going or doing something beforehand? Then you can help them stay conscious of what it is that they are planning to learn or achieve right through the experience. So they said, okay, let's front load. So an example would be, what would be the value of learning geography? What would be the value of making small groups to learn the subject? What would be the value of going to the mountain? Now they're already reflecting and thinking about the possibility of what they're going to bring back. And during the experience, you can take, moments. So the moment you front load, they're already reflecting and they might then try to practice some of that. And then, of course, during the experience itself, you can intervene and say, okay, we've come this far. What has it been like? So the Padlet that I had presented to you to consider was an intervention. It was an intervening question in the middle of the experience. What is the course for you this far? How would you describe your experience of the course this far? Akhil, does that answer your question? Yes. That those images evoke emotions and you build a connection between the image, a similarity, so to speak, between the image and your experience. So somebody about the butterfly, and what they saw was the color. They said, yeah, okay, I'm learning some things from here. That's what we call a metaphor. So every time you use that intervening question, you create awareness. And if people, and the reason I insisted that you do it before we finish is I can look at it and say, okay, this is what I now need to do in order to be able to respond to somebody's need. You get that? Okay. So those are the different places that you can create this pause for reflection. The pause is a moment when there's grinding going on. And people are concocting their own stories around that. And something does emerge from that experience of the pause. So every time you are asking a question, you're creating a pause for them to consider what's going on with them. So these are just some thoughts on processing, nuggets, so to speak. And if you have a question, so you've got the before the experience, during the experience, and after the experience piece. Have a look at it later. Okay? Now, what is the quality of those questions? You remember this? Yeah, thank you. I'm not going to go into details of this, but you can also frame your questions based on that. So people are doing something. What are some doing questions? What are some sensing questions? What are some feeling questions? What are some thinking questions? And what are some knowing questions? That's homework for you if you want to learn. Okay. Here are some nuggets. Whatever you do, make it relevant to the group. To the group, not to you. If there is no meaningfulness, they don't find meaningfulness in what, then they're just going to do what you tell them to do. That's what a classroom normally is about. But if you can get them to think about where 2 + 2 might be useful, it will go a long way in their understanding of the subject. And it challenges them to think about it. Create some kind of a challenge. Build some ground rules. How are we going to learn? How are we going to manage conflict? How are we going to manage difference? What will we do if homework doesn't get done? What would be the value of giving no homework? And at all times, you're looking at PIEs, physically safe, physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially safe environment. Don't think that you're the only person who has answers to it. Share the responsibility of exploration and discovery. So that whole geography thing, after the first 2 months, I didn't do a damn thing. I was the happiest teacher in the whole world. We were all just getting the kids to learn what they wanted to learn. And they did that so well anyway. It was just a process of getting them to there and getting them to understand that the choices were possible. And this was the framework in which we were going to exercise those choices. It was brilliant. Even though I say so myself. Short questions. Short.
Easy to understand.
What are the 4 S's? Short.
Sharp.
Simple.
Simple.
Sharp. Sharp. What does sharp mean?
To the point.
Okay. Do you know a surgeon? You know, surgery? What do they use? What do they use?
Incisive.
What do they use to cut?
Scalpel.
Absolutely. Why not use a saw?
Saw.
Yeah.
Wow.
He saw. I don't know.
Oh no, I know. I now understand that in the context of reflective questions. That's what sharp means. That it's short and it's sharp.
Neat.
It's incisive. You get to the point in those 4 or 5 words. That's it. Is that what you want to do? Was the sharp question. One thought at a time. Please remember that. Many of us are in the habit of framing the entire question and then saying, now answer. And they don't know which one to answer. Because we've given them multiple choice questions. Do you want to do this or do you want to do that? Or will that be better? Will you enjoy that? Hold on. Which question do you want me to answer? Don't disappear. Stay engaged. Stay there. This is that. If you come from this place, you won't be able to detach from the outcome.
Did you finally talk to my?
Your children may not eat the greens. Your student may not stop making noise. One question may not get you to the end. So in my conversation with Deepa, I asked many questions and each one followed up on the previous one. I don't know what I did, but I know I got it right. All the thoughts in your head need not come into one question. And that's the point here. Don't be in a hurry. Sometimes you ask such a good question that they're going to be reflective for about a minute and you've got to hold your peace. Then you can say, okay, did you understand the question? Or they will tell you, or their expression will tell you that they didn't quite get it. But if we don't pause, then we don't create that space for reflection. A lot of us in classrooms, we want the answer to come in the next 5 seconds after asking the question. And many people think they either know it or they don't. It's not that. They're thinking. Let them think. Sometimes you have to say, okay, I don't want to hear anything for the first 30 seconds. I just want you to think about what I've said. And 30 seconds is a wonderful pause. It's a long time. You want to know what 30 seconds is? It's not the clock. So here's a question I'm going to ask. Do you see yourself being able to ask the 4S questions next time you're in conversation with anybody, and that anybody might be as soon as you open the door to the room you're in?
As long as it's not you, I'm ready.
Hey, we said 30 seconds, Nitya. That's how long it is. 30 seconds. The other thing we do is the moment the student responds, we've got something coming, right? Breathe. Nobody is going anywhere.
So I have a question.
Wait, another 10 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, let me finish this.
Okay.
Walk in with intent. Intentionality. Why are you there? What are you trying to do? Know it. What's your purpose of teaching chemistry? Is it exams? What exactly is it? Do you have your goals and objectives in place? That'll guide your method. Collaborative examinations, group tests, speed tests in groups. Let them know what it's all about. I mean, what's the problem? If you want them to learn, then great. No, if they already know it and they respond to it, fantastic. A lot of us believe that, acha, though, if I front load everything and tell them what it's about, then they already are responding from there. I said, isn't that what you want? Then why are we holding back all that from them? What would be a loaded question where the answer is in the question? You want to learn chemistry, right? Okay, we're done for the day. Those who need to run away, run away. Just remember, the moment you open your door, you got opportunity. So don't ask me whether, how to apply this. I was watching a movie today. I put it out. Didn't I put it out on the group? Just check. I put it in Turbulence, I think. Are you guys part of Turbulence? No?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you should be. That's where chatter is going to happen after this course group. Yes, I have. I threw a question. I was watching a movie, wonderful movie about a dog's perspective about what he sees about humans. But the title was not particularly indicative of that. Yeah. Yeah, something about rain. Anyway, it was just so brilliantly reflective. If you get a chance to watch that movie, please do. Okay, I'm done.
So can I ask questions?
Can you?
Yeah. So you said ask sharp questions, like use the 4S, but it has to be open. So like if I need to have a conversation with someone, if I want to have a conversation and explore, I want to use the 4S, and I see that using the 4S will allow to explore me. But I kind of have a misunderstanding of having a sharp but an open-ended question. Like how can I have that sharp question and an open-ended?
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I want to do that because I want to have a sharp question and I want to have an open-ended. I don't want to listen or no.
Son, I just did that. I just asked you a sharp, open-ended question.
So can you say that again so that,
Is that what you want to do?
Okay, so it helps, building things up. All right. Another one is short but open. So how can I have a short question and an open-ended question?
I just did that.
Is it the same? Like
Is that
short?
what you want to do?
But so all these 4S's always confuse me a lot. Whenever I try 4S, it just confuses me so much.
You will know you've asked a good question when you feel really sweet about it.
And how does that happen?
You will know when you do it.
And what is stopping me?
You.
what is there I can explore to have a sweet question?
Ask a lot of questions.
That I do, and that doesn't make that changes from sweetness to, I don't know, too many things.
You'll have to be a reindeer.
You know what this means, right?
It takes me 10 years.
Something like that.
That's a lot of time, sir. All right. And after like doing front loading of an experience, does that kill the experience for the next? Like, if I front load everything, does that kill the experience for the participant? Like, I tell them everything. Isn't that boring after that?
Well, front loading doesn't mean telling them everything.
Okay, like giving them what's it gonna be about.
Give me an example of an activity you're going to do, and I'll tell you what front load means.
Okay, so let's say I have my monthly meeting.
Okay.
Week, and it's gonna be about the production delays we have.
Wonderful. So here are some front loaded questions.
Okay.
What would you like to achieve in that month-end meeting?
I would want my people to be aware of that we have.
These are the questions you will ask them, son.
Okay. I need to ask them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the moment you ask that, or what are some things we could do better? What, in your opinion, is holding production back?
Okay. So that is front loading. So that is,
getting them to think about what they could be presenting at the meeting.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
जाने का मन नहीं कर रहा है क्या? हैं?
I have a question.
There's also no class next Saturday.
Oh yeah. No class next Saturday.
Diwali.
Diwali.
Yeah. Well, that's my Diwali. My Diwali is different. Right? I'm giving that talk. That award I got. No?
At what time will you give that talk? Because I have registered.
Swami, I'm sure you've got fast fingers. I'm dying to hear, to know what you're thinking, but can't hear you. Sorry. So at 9:30, huh?
I'm going to check the time because the daylight saving change is happening around
10:30 EST.
Okay.
But you'll be able to see it only if you are registered for the conference or have become a member. And
I have registered.
Oh, then see you there then.
Yeah.
Vishwan?
Yeah.
Sorry, Arushi.
No, Stefania, you go ahead.
No, I didn't have a question, but I wanted to say that I just checked Deep Turbulence, and there's no movie of the dog car. So if you haven't, can you post it?
Madhuri,
Not
Art of Racing in the Rain.
Huh. Art of Racing in the Rain.
It's in the chat box. Yeah.
Okay, Vishwas, I have a question, not related, but now that we don't have class even next week, I think I should just ask now. So how do we create activities for different groups or in different situations? I mean, this is like one of the reasons why I really wanted to do a course by you. I know you're not going to give answers, but if you have some kind of resources or a direction that you can push me towards.
Definitely register with Chris Cavett. Fundoing.com. He's got a lot of free stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'll take a leave. Bye.